Six Days in Fallujah looks and sounds like it's going to be one of the most important FPS titles to ever be released. And I say that for a variety of different reasons, so let's talk about it. Back in 2009, publisher Konami and developers Atomic Games announced 6 Days in Fallujah, but unfortunately, they had to cancel the game due to pushback from the media as well as backlash from some of the families of the fallen soldiers who died fighting in Iraq. They did not want this battle being turned into a video game. They felt that it was disrespectful because it was still too fresh for them, which is completely understandable, but now that has all changed. At the tail end of this year, in December 2022, 6 Days in Fallujah, a tactical FPS made with the consulting of over 100 Marines and Iraqi civilians who were there during the war, will be released. It's a game aimed at retelling the intensity and the gravity of the Battle of Fallujah in a very realistic and grounded portrayal, and it's being made by the developers called Highwire Games and being published by Victura. And let me tell you this, guys, the level of trust I have in this team working on this game is beyond through the roof, alright? But before we do discuss that and what the game will offer, it's important to discuss the reason why 6 Days in Fallujah will be the most important FPS title ever released, and why it's important that games like this do get developed. We can't let games like this get stopped dead in their tracks. It's unacceptable. By giving the audience the control to operate in these scenarios and be in the boots of these men who fought, that is a whole lot more impactful in terms of telling a story to an audience than it would be if you were just sitting there watching these moments unfold like you do when you watch movies or TV.
The only way you can clear a city is you have to search every house, you have to search every room, and you have to root out every insurgent.
We sustained hundreds and hundreds of casualties. A third of my battalion was killed or wounded.
On November 9th, 2004, I entered the city with 12 Marines plus myself. And by November 13th, I was down to 4 Marines and myself.
It's hard not getting emotional watching these men speak on their experience, and this is why I am safely stoked for this game. It just looks so raw and so authentic. It looks like it's going to be such a beautiful retelling of experiences, something that will give the audience some real human emotion and real feelings of terror. And that's why this could be potentially the most important FPS title to date, because it's a retelling, a serious retelling of events. And I know for a fact that this is a game people want. This is the type of tac shooter game that people are longing for. It's about situating the audience in an unknown environment to undergo a visceral combat experience. It's that fear of knocking down a door and not knowing who or what is on the other side, but it's also that moment of being expelled from that same fear and breathing that sigh of relief when you do survive.
There's such a fear, so you're standing in front of the door. You kick down that door, and there's a sense of relief. You only feel it if you survive.
It's that on-the-fly decision-making you'll need to make as the player in these operations, and it's about facing the repercussions of those decisions in real time, when every fucking bullet matters and every twitch of your finger could save you from your demise. It's those moments that feel like hours that weigh down the audience to make them understand that this is a war and it wasn't fucking pretty. It's experiencing that tight moving feeling of pushing through room to room with your team, getting fucking dirty, and traversing those close quarters environments that are randomly generated, which I'll get into later on. But it's something that needs to be told, guys. That's the point I'm hinting at. This is something that needs to be told, especially if it's done in a realistic, authentic, commemorative way that Highwire Games seemingly looks like that they are aiming to do with 6 Days in Fallujah. These are not only important stories to be told, but this is such an important game that needs to be made to have for us gamers. We are all so sick and fucking tired of the heaps of shit that get constantly released, piles of overblown Hollywood explosive shit-stained shooter garbage, constant garbage that have zero emphasis on tact with no impact to the audience other than to impact their fucking wallets for some fucking seasons passes, weapon packs, armor packs, blind boxes, loot boxes, skin packs, weapon packs, weekly challenges, fucking daily challenges, chibi packs, emote packs, NFTs, credit packs, coin chests. You get the fucking point I'm trying to make here. There is zero low emphasis nowadays, and a lot of these modern shooters now, none of them take the genre seriously. 6 Days in Fallujah seems to be avoiding all of that shit in favor of being more focused in its experience, because if they did incorporate monetization tactics in this game, it would take away from the serious tone and the realistic depiction that they are after, which I know they are not going to be doing. So I'm safely stoked for this fucking game. It would honestly ruin the game to a degree for me, but again, luckily they are not doing that. They seem to have the right fucking focus here, and all that effort is being put towards a solid tactical shooter experience with squad commands and an emphasis again on realism, especially in its gunplay.
You hear that? Up there! Watch that door! Yep! Covered. Contact! We got contact! Get my back! Go, 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 go!
The person who goes in first is never wrong. They have the most to fear.
And as soon as I walk in, I see a machine gun right in front of my face, maybe 10 feet, 15 feet from me.
Every time we would go into one of those buildings, you never know what to expect.
You don't know the layout of the house until you get in there. And then you still don't know it until you go all the way through it.
Room clearing, house clearing, it's different every single time.
Now luckily the whole game is planned from the ground up to deliver us this real authentic experience, a proper retelling of events from the eyes of those who fought it. And I'm not just talking about giving us 1.5 missions that do this and then the rest of the game just kind of fucks off with the realism and returns to being a Hollywood shooter. And yeah, I'll just fucking say it, I'm looking at you, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, with that clean house mission. I'm talking about a full-fledged title, a game that isn't scared to fucking scare, a game that isn't scared to tell a proper meaningful story from start to finish that takes players on this important tactical realistic journey that won't bow down to fucking degenerates on change.org who think that 6 Days in Fallujah is somehow a game that's glorifying death of Iraqis for player entertainment and that will somehow commodify and trivialize the death of Iraqis. Please, no. Fuck off with your absurd rhetoric, you fucking idiots. It's like none of these people have ever watched a TV show or a war movie. Like to block one medium and not block the other is completely fucking baffling to me. To think that game should be blocked from delivering people an educative retelling of history is beyond me. So all those fucking idiots on change.org who've signed this petition and all the people who fight against this game being made, it's beyond baffling to me, alright? And that's why again 6 Days in Fallujah has my utmost support and all my hype, because it looks, honest to God, amazing. They are basically making a playable documentary, guys. Now, that gameplay is going to be fully focused on being a tactical experience, as I've stated. This will be a full-on tactical experience in the way that the guns work, as well as how you command your team when clearing rooms and moving them. The communication will be constant between you and your team. This game is being designed in a way in which you can't Rambo it yourself solo, and the devs themselves have said this in an interview with IGN. You can go check it out yourself if you want to see it, or I might even edit this video and toss it in.
The second thing is we always knew this wanted to be a tactical shooter and not a run and gun shooter, right? So the tone wouldn't be right, but more importantly than that, one thing that has been very consistently communicated to us by these Marines is today's games are just so different than actual combat that because you can solve problems by yourself, right? You can run through a map and play like Rambo and still succeed.
Right.
That just won't work. And so in real combat, it's about the tactics. And it's about making sure that you are coordinating your activities with others on your team, because that's the only way to overwhelm that enemy is to get, a higher volume of fire, or be able to fix somebody in place with suppressive fire while another element flanks that person. So that is that is the essence of what real combat is really like, and it's not something that I have experienced in a lot of games since Full Spectrum Warrior and Brothers in Arms. That the enemy has been created in such a way in most games that you can't beat that enemy by yourself. So the challenge that Jamie and the team at Highwire have really zeroed in on is, how do you fix those two problems, right? How do you create enemies that are actually using tactics that require a coordinated team to overwhelm them? And number two, how do we make it as easy for you to order your team to do something as it is to fire your weapon?
They are making an interactive experience that puts the player through the complications that actual soldiers faced when clearing rooms. They didn't know what was inside, what the layout was going to be, or what it looked like. As much as films and TV shows make you think that all these operations are kind of planned to a T without any room for failure, and that the military is just this godly force that knows exactly how things are going to go, when they simply don't, guys. It's simply not realistic, at least not in the context of the Battle of Fallujah, where soldiers again really had no idea what they would be up against, what was on the other side of that door. And that's what this game aims to answer. But how can a developer even answer this? How can they manage this? How can they accomplish this feeling without the game becoming too video gamey and too repetitive, where you know exactly how each door clear will go because you've already played these missions before? Well, an answer to that is the game world is going to dynamically change, and what the team is calling it is procedural architecture. This means that the entire battlefield, not just the buildings you clear, but the entire battlefield themselves will change every time, meaning players won't ever expect what they will be up against. This will offer replayability, as well as allow the audience to feel that scary feeling of the unknown throughout their entire play sessions.
One squad has already walked down this alley, so we're just like walking down pretty confidently, and like these guys just open up.
There's one in the alley! There! I got you. Alley looks clear. Go right, on it. Watch out! Suppressing fire!
This game will feature what they call Go Command System. It's all one-tap commands to make your team fire, move, and breach. But one of the most important things that the developers are doing right with 6 Days in Fallujah is the absolute attention to detail. The equipment, the guns, everything is being meticulously crafted and created in order to deliver an authentic first-person tactical shooter experience that, again, is historically accurate. They have all the equipment. They've purchased real gear from the time period and gave it to their artists, their 3D artists, to recreate in a proper way. And I really again wish that more developers and more publishers had the balls to tell stories like this. And I'm so sick and tired again of all these games, these shitty ass games that don't focus on what's important anymore, alright? And it's the most important thing is that you want to have good gameplay, you want to have good gunplay, you want to have tactics, you want to have squad commands, squad controls, team controls, whatever you got to do to allow you to craft this tactical experience and allow you replayability when it doesn't get boring. You're not just running and gunning it through fucking linear levels. You're exploring these ever-changing environments in this part of history that's so brutal, so dark. I'd say it's a dark part of history, man. It's one of the most gruesome battles. It's just something that, honest to God, I think a video game can actually cover and capture properly. Again, a film and a TV show can only go so far. Like, you look at movies like The Hurt Locker. The Hurt Locker is my all-time favorite war film. That movie knows exactly how to portray realness. And of course, you get that experience by following this guy defusing bombs, but to a degree, you're kind of out of the experience because you're just a spectator in a sense. But when you're put in those shoes and you're actually the one who has to do the work in this virtual realm, in this virtual space, it has weight. There's weight to every moment. There's weight to every decision, every action that you make. There's weight to it. And when you take it seriously, when you take the subject matter and you cover it in a serious way, and you don't, again, cartoonize the fucking all these aspects of war, you don't just allow people to make fucking pink zebra gun skins or gold dip pistols. Fuck, man. You can't do that. You gotta show a level of respect, and that is exactly why a game like this got canceled originally, because you look at the space, you look at what else is out there, and you know for a fact that this game is just gonna be another fucking shooter, man. It's gonna be another disrespectful fucking cow-bow fucking shooter. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. But in reality, when you take a little bit step further and you actually delve deep and you have a look at and you listen to what the developers are doing over at Highwire Games with 6 Days in Fallujah, you quickly realize that it's a respectful retelling of events. It's a game that needs to be made, and it's why it's the most important FPS title ever made, because it's setting a benchmark. It's setting a new level here in gaming. Again, when you look at the market and everything is so fucking monetized, whereas a game here is just standing out and it wants to deliver an experience that honest to God is respectful to those who have fallen and to those who have been there. And the fact that they're getting actual fucking veterans to help out truly shows to me that they care and that they are caring about what gamers are after. So keep an eye out. I will be meticulously covering 6 Days in Fallujah on this channel when we get more info, when we get new bits of gameplay, new updates, perhaps even a beta test or anything at all. I will be here and I am going to cover this game because I am so fucking excited since day one for 6 Days in Fallujah, okay? And I'll be here. So stick around and you'll see me cover it some more. And until next time, guys, thank you for watching. And take it easy. Oh, and you know what? Before I tell you to take it easy, leave a comment, please. I really want to hear what you have to say. I want to know, are you as fucking excited, as passionate about this as I am? Because honest to God, guys, when I get passionate about something, it's because it really does feel like it's setting a benchmark. As I've stated, it's setting a new benchmark, something that other developers need to look at and follow suit. Because I'm tired of all the shit, man. I'm tired of all the trash. If they can deliver us what they're promising, a documentary-style video game, then I'm all on board for. This is everything I need. All right. Anyways, guys, again, take it easy and thanks.
My son, he had his first birthday while we were in Fallujah. I wanted to take a picture, so I wrote "Happy Birthday, JJ" on a piece of cardboard, and I held it up. That was the most difficult day I had there. It dawned on me, it's like, I can't die on my kid's birthday. And that's all I thought about all day long, was dying on my kid's birthday.
Let's do this! Good here. You clear? On me! Let's do this.